Hello and welcome to a video review for Robots in Disguise Megatron. Or if you're from Japan, Car Robots Gigatron. However, this is the American version. How do I know? Well, it came in the American packaging. Transformers Robots in Disguise Megatron. We also get Robots in Disguise in Spanish, I believe, as well as French. This is a level 4 conversion. I believe at the time 4 was the most complicated conversion. 6 modes. However, the Galvatron repaint, which I also have, has 10. As you can see on the side here, we get the 5 alternate forms that Megatron comes with. On the side here, we get the two-headed dragon, the robot, and the gargoyle bat. And on the other side, we get the car, we get the hand, and we got the jet. On the back here, we have Megatron, as well as his stats. All 10s on this version of Megatron, so yeah, that's gonna be pretty tough to beat. And on the underside here, we have Skylight, Ultra Magnus, and Optimus Prime. I might get Optimus someday, because, you know, I think, despite being a fire truck, I think this Optimus Prime looks kind of cool. Definitely different than what I would expect. And on the top here, just basic information. So, yeah. Now let's get into this review. I'm going to do what Exaggerated LG did and go over all 10 forms, not just the 6 that Megatron comes with, but I'm going to go over all 10. So, just like Biker Trash Wolf's review of Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime, grab some popcorn because chances are you're going to need it. So this is Megatron in his Hydrofoil form. As far as I know, a hydrofoil is a kind of boat. Sure? This, honest to God, doesn't really look like any boat I've seen. I could be mistaken. I mean, maybe there are a couple boats that look like this. However, I have never really seen one. Yeah. As you can see here, the color scheme is pretty much straightforward. We got black, we got purple, we got some highlights of gold, red. We also got some gold chrome, some silver chrome, and some aquamarine green chrome. Oh my god, that's a mouthful. Yeah. Color scheme's not really bad looking. I actually dig this color scheme. Look, I like dark colors, okay? So, yeah. Now, the Galvatron version, on that figure, all of the purple on here is black, and all the black on here is white. So, oh, and the green stuff is just gold chrome. They completely got rid of the green in favor of the gold chrome. The Galvatron version looks okay, but I like the look of this one just a little bit more. You know, I like dark colors. I think dark colors are cool. So, yeah. Get a little run around of the hydrofoil mode. This form is actually my least favorite of the 10, simply because I just think that this is lazy. And hey, just look at this. It doesn't even hold together right. Yeah. Definitely my least favorite of the 10. Next mode, I believe it's called, or referred to as a Pteranodon. I think that's right. Anyway, so to get the figure into that, what you want to do is take these bits here, turn these around, and fold them up like this. Second verse, same as the first, as MGO316 would say. 316? Yeah, I think that's it. He usually just refers to himself as MGO. Okay. Straighten these out. Bring this whole section down. Peg it into place. Okay. Fold these bits up and into place. Okay. Okay. And then turn that to the side. Okay. Turn this one to the side. Okay. Bring these out, fan them out, and finally turn this bit around, bend that down, and you've got the Pteranodon mode. Now if you want, you can spread these hook claws out if you want, but really there's just no point. But yeah, that's him in the Pteranodon form. Truth be told, this looks like a chicken, and it's not much better than the Hydrofoil. Remember that scene in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen? In that scene, there were Cybertronian hatchlings. Megatron was confronting Starscream. I believe it was the ruins of Cybertron. Yeah, this form looks like it should be incubating said hatchlings. I mean, yeah. From the front, it looks goofy, but it doesn't really look that much better from the back. I mean, yeah. It's kibbly. It's kibble-tastic. Whatever the hell you want to refer to it. Yeah. It's really not much better than the Hydrofoil boat. Whatever the hell it was. And whatever the hell this is, yeah, I don't like this form. Now the next form is an elephant. Now, to get to that, you want to take these off. Send those to the side. Bring those back like that. Turn these down. And you're going to want to turn these feet part in for the time being. You'll see why in a second. Turn those in. Detach the wing unit. And you're going to want to push these in. Okay. Now you're going to want to open this panel and split these back out again. There. Now, bring this forward if you can. Bring this up and around and try to peg this into place. I mean, there are these tab things here that go into slots here, and it's really hard to line them up, let alone lock them into place, but it can be done. And then, last but not least, you're going to want to open these up to be feet. Flatten them out. And take these bits and plug them in up front. Alright, and there we have him in what is referred to as the Iron Mammoth mode. Now, I guess a mammoth could be made of iron if it's a statue, but truth be told, mammoths were hairy prehistoric creatures. This looks more like an elephant than an iron mammoth. I mean, if you look close enough, you can kind of see where the creators were going. I mean, these kind of look like tusks, this kind of looks like a nose. I mean, this looks like eyes, and the wings look like ears. I mean, yeah. I mean, it looks... It resembles what it's supposed to look like, but not completely. But oddly enough, though, I think this is much better than the Pteranodon. I mean, I can actually see this, like, barging into a city and rampaging down the streets. Yeah, I mean, sure, it can pass off for an elephant, but it doesn't quite work all the way. I mean, it's okay, but let's be honest, I mean, compared to some of the other forms, like, why does he need this form? Like, what's the point? But, you know, I like it. It's one of the better bonus forms than one of the worst, but yeah. Now he also has a Griffin form. What you want to do is remove the tusks, peg these together. You're gonna want to straighten this out, but leave this hinge loose. Detach that, turn this around, and peg this back to where it was earlier. Fold this back. Try to peg it into place. There we go. Now, you're going to want to bring these forward. Turn the feet forward. This rotation joint right here is really stiff, on my figure anyway. Okay. Okay. Straighten these out like that, and then you can take this bit, and there's a peg here on his butt, and if you look here, the holes, these are how they were attaching to other spots, pegs that were fitting into these holes. Anyway, there's a hole, peg, just plug it in, and you got a tail. Now, I recall from the instructions saying that you're supposed to turn the back feet around for this form. So yeah, let's do that. You can also fan the wings out like that. And that's him in his Griffin form. Now, I've seen Griffins. This actually looks like a Griffin. Now, Griffins are different colors, but this actually does resemble the body of a Griffin. Now, I actually like this form. And plus, this is actually one of the posable forms. I mean, you've got joints all throughout here. You've got joints here. I mean, you can actually pose this form. I can see this rampaging into a city and, like, destroying everything it sees. Or you could call this Megatron's happy dancing mode, where he goes prancing in a field of flowers or something, but let's be realistic. Megatron is either a Predacon or a Decepticon, which are pretty much the same thing. They live to destroy and conquer and take over the world. Like imperialism or You know, let's just say this. Megatron is like a robotic Hitler. So, considering that, like, why would he transform into this? I mean, he's a madman 24/7, so why would he be in a good mood and transform into this? I don't know, maybe he got a false sense of accomplishment when he thought he destroyed Optimus Prime or something. I don't know. But, just like the elephant mode, I actually like this form. Actually, now that I think about it, this could also pass as a single-headed dragon form. Yeah, that could actually work. Kind of reminds me of Spyro the Dragon. And for those of you who haven't played that PS1 game, I totally recommend that you check it out, because for how old that game is, just like this figure, it's pretty exciting. Anyway, so yeah, I like this form. Definitely one of the better ones. Okay, so we got over the bonus forms that this guy has. Now let's get into some of the alternate forms that the original Megatron had. So, put those off. Let's go to his Gargoyle Bats form. Now to get him there, you want to straighten the wings out like that. Close the rear feet. Turn these around. Fold these to the back. Bring this whole bit down and twist this bit around. And then you're gonna want to turn these in, because these fin pieces are actually gonna hold down this bit right there. Okay, then bring these down, and you're gonna want to open the chest, slide the robot head up, and flip out this mouthpiece right there. Now if you want, you can flip out these earpieces, but I think these are actually more for the robot, so I just tucked them back. You can fan those out, and they're actually fanned out on the box. So, and then finally attach these up here, and we have Megatron in the Gargoyle Megabat mode. Now, unlike most of the other modes, this mode actually uses the robot head. And we have this flip out piece. Now, if you look closely, it kind of reminds me of a crocodile mouth. Like, it's a crocodile mask. He's in Halloween costume mode. He's gonna go trick-or-treating, or whatever the hell it's called. I don't really know what it's called. I've never really done it, so... yeah. This mode's kind of goofy, but... I kind of like this form, not as much as the Griffin, but I like this form. I mean, now, it does have a problem. Like, from the front, it looks fine, but from the back, kibble. A lot of it. Jet piece. Dragon piece. Car piece. I mean, it's a mess back there, but really, considering how many forms this guy has, there's really not much that they could do. You could imagine that these are thrusters to help keep him up in the air. Or at least that's what I think they did in the cartoon. But yeah. Now, I like this form. I think this form's really neat. Not one of my favorites, but it's definitely a good one. Alright, now remember when I said that this was a car piece? Let's put him in the car mode. So, put the mask and the head back in, detach these pieces, close that back up, detach those again, and then you're going to want to bring this up and peg it on right there. Pretty much straighten that out. straighten out the legs, like that. Bring this panel up, and peg it right there, where it was on the hydrofoil mode. And then, pretty much, collapse those, like that. I'm sorry. Let me try and do a better job of explaining it on this arm. Pretty much twist this around, straighten these claws down, turn that around, bend that joint there, and let's see, fold these like that, and you're going to want to peg them in like that. Okay. Bend that joint, and then bring it up on this joint here. And then there's a peg right in front of my thumb, and then there's a hole right up in here. You're just going to want to try and peg that into place. Of course, it might be easier to see what I'm doing. That. Okay, bend these up. That. And then take the guns and plug them onto these pegs right back here. 1, 2. Like that. And that's Megatron in car mode. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he only transformed into this once in the entire show. And that was when he was luring Sideswipe or Sideburn. Yeah, I think it was Sideburn. He was luring Sideburn into a trap while he was posing as a red sports car. Yeah. So, this guy invented catfishing. Speaking of catfishing, the MTV show Catfish, that's actually a really good show. Anyway, back to the toy, or figure, or whatever you want to call this thing. Because of the guns back here, I think this is a tank. Yes, you heard me, these are also guns. I mean, there's also a red button right here, and if you push on that button, it will fire the missile right off your table. So, let's plug this back in. So yeah, with the guns, it looks more like a tank. And why does it look... Oh. See if I can get this. There we go. I think I got it now. So yeah, when I look at this, I start to think Michael Keaton versus Jack Nicholson. That's right. This reminds me of the Batmobile. And I bet a whole lot of you are going to agree. It looks like the Batmobile. Now, we do have kibble in this form, too. We got the dragon heads hanging off the back. We got beast feet hanging off the back. I mean, yeah. But you know, surprisingly, this form actually holds together pretty dang well. I mean, you can just shake this thing around, and it's gonna be, like, a long time before you actually shake something loose. Like, this form actually holds together. Yeah. Now, let's go to his jet mode. So what you want to do is you want to straighten these out, detach the back wheels from these bits, straighten these out, and you're going to want to turn these around, and you'll see why in a moment. Turn these arms up and reorient them. And in case you haven't guessed yet, we're going to be turning this thing upside down. But before we do, we're going to want to open the chest bit and flip out that landing gear piece. Okay, and then we're going to take the wings and flip them around, and there's a hole right here, and it's going to peg into his butt. Yeah. So, okay, before we finish off the landing gear, let's get the legs out of the way. So, you're pretty much going to want to fold these around like this, and I believe these are supposed to like slide into place or something. Could be mistaken. There we go. And finally, gonna readjust that. And we're gonna take the guns and plug them into where we did in the Griffin mode. And there he is in jet mode. Now, this form is actually one of my favorites of the 10. It's definitely one of the better ones. I definitely like it more than the Batmobile, the Hydrofoil, and the Pteranodon combined. Like, I like the way that this form looks. I mean, sure, nothing exactly pegs into place, but it actually holds together. So yeah, nothing pegs into place, but it holds together. That is clever. Now, I really like this form. It's definitely one of my more preferred forms. It's definitely one of the better forms. And of course, just like in the car mode, you can fire the missiles. Now, if you look here, these are friction pegs, so yeah. You won't be so likely to lose them so much. But yeah. Now, I like the jet mode. Okay. Which mode should we go to now? Let's go to his hand mode. Actually, we can leave these attached, so for his hand mode, what we want to do is we're going to want to bring these up like this. This already came undone. That's convenient. Okay, so bring that up like so. I want to turn these around. Turn that around. Like that. So we got that going on. Fold these in. Put the landing gear in. And then finally, we're going to want to take that, flip it around, unpeg it, and you're also going to want to slide it to the, well, it can go either way, but since he transformed into a right hand in the show, I'm going to have him be the right hand. Okay. And that is Megatron in his hand mode. Okay, now let's be honest, this mode is like goofy as shit. But honestly, I like this form more than I thought I was going to. I mean, yeah, it's goofy, it's ridiculous, it's funny, but I like it. Now, he does have a feature in this form. If you detach this panel, which is just disturbing because this is the robot crotch plate, but if you pull on the panel, which is now a lever, you get a clutching action. So, you could actually grab something with it, I guess. Like, what should I have him grab? Oh! Here's the Camaro Concept Bumblebee from 2007. Like, well, you get the basic idea. But yeah, it can function as a hand, should you so desire. And of course, you can also use this form to flip somebody off. Yeah. I don't really like using it for that purpose, but yeah. And oddly enough though, he did actually use this form in the show, like I mentioned earlier, and he transformed into a right hand. And I think there was an episode where he was Galvatron and he combined with a ship or something to be like a fighting robot or something. I don't know. I don't remember exactly, but I do remember that happening. Okay, so that's enough of the hand. Let's give this form a hand, everybody! Like, you may hear of Uranus being the planet of many jokes. Well, this guy is the hand of many jokes. Anyway, so enough of this form. Let's go to his double-headed dragon form. Now, basically what you want to do is you want to attach the thumb back to where it was for most of the other forms. Bring those out, flip this around, and peg this back onto his butt. There we go. Bring those up and around. Bring these down. Like that. Bring these around like that. There we go. Now twist these around like that. And flip these head masks back. Turn these arms around. And voila! Here he is in his dragon form. The two-headed dragon. What is going on here? Does he not want to stand? Or something? I don't know. Anyway, you can peg the guns onto his back, like so. And there he is in his beast mode. His two-headed dragon form, the primary beast form. Yeah. Now this form has a lot of play value. I mean, you can open and close the mouths, you can have one head look up, one head look down, and his little arms here are posable, the legs are posable. Heck, you can even get posability from the tail. So, yeah. You can get a lot of play value from this dragon. I know kids are really gonna like... I know kids might like this form. And you can even grab it by the tail and just have it fly around and stuff. Like, I remember scaring a couple cats and a couple dogs with this figure in this form. So, yeah. Pretty cool. Definitely my second favorite form. Now, it's time for the grand finale, transforming him into robot mode. Now, what you want to do is you want to put the arms away like this, pretty much turn the bicep over, then turn the elbow around and collapse it in like that. Close these masks, fits, turn these around, and these are the robot legs, so open the dragon heads, become the feet, close the wings up, flip this around, and peg it in. Straighten the tail out, fold it to the back, I'm sorry, I didn't explain. Bring the arm down, flip up the shoulder pad, turn the elbow around, and collapse this bit in to expose the hand. Hold the feet back, and then finally just reach on the head and slide it out and flip out the earpieces. And ladies and gentlemen, we have Robots in Disguise Megatron in his robot mode. Yeah, I love this robot mode. I mean, this form is definitely the best part of this figure. I mean, just look at him. Look at him. He's a beautiful masterpiece. So yeah, the color scheme remains the same throughout all these forms, so there's really not much to talk about there. But let's talk about the articulation. The head can rotate a full 360 degrees. It can't really look up or down, but oh well. The arms can rotate at the shoulder. They can move in and out. They can twist at the bicep, and they can bend at the elbow. The hands can rotate. We don't have waist articulation due to the transformation and the hand clutching gimmick. Legs can move in and out. They can move forward and back. They can twist at the thigh, and they can bend at the knee, and the feet are also ball jointed. And the wings are also posable due to all the other forms. We got two joints where they can bend, and you can also fan them out. So yeah, pretty cool. Now the weapons, you can store them on the back if you wish, or you can have them hold them in various ways. Like, you can have him hold them as a sword, you can peg them onto his forearm to be like a gun or a fusion cannon, like the original Megatron. Or you can, if you want, combine them like we did in the Griffin mode and have them be a sword staff in this form. I mean, however you want to pose him is up to you. But really, I like the look of individual swords. These hand rotations, they almost make it hard to get the swords into his hand. So yeah. Now let's do some size comparisons. Let's bring him next to Beast Wars Optimal Optimus. He comes up to the cockpit hinge. Let's bring him next to Classics Optimus Prime. He's a whole head taller. You know, they actually look decent together. I mean, they're from different lines altogether, but they look good together. Here he is next to Camaro Concept Bumblebee from 2007. Bumblebee comes up to just below his chest. Generations Thundercracker. Just below his abdomen. And Classics Megatron. They're more or less the same size. If not, this Megatron is taller from his antenna. Horn, whatever it is. So yeah. 10 modes in one Transformer. That is ludicrous. It is just crazy, crazy, crazy. Does this figure look good? Absolutely. I mean, just look at him. He is totally spot on. I mean, look at that head sculpt. That definitely looks menacing. This figure totally looks great. Is this figure any good? Absolutely. However, the biggest complaints most Transformer fans have with this guy is the amount of modes he has and how ludicrous the transformations are. Like, Transformers were originally designed for kids, and with how complex this guy is, I mean, how are kids supposed to play with him? Like, they're just gonna get lost. But, you know, if you're a teenager who is young at heart, I can totally see you messing around with this guy. Like, I remember when I first got this mold, I couldn't stop playing with it. It was just so addicting. Yeah, I like this guy. Does this figure belong in a Transformer collection? Absolutely. Either this or the Galvatron version will work for you. Final rating. Final rating. What should I give this guy? Let's see. I like how complicated this guy is, but I don't like some of the modes he has. You know what? In total, I'll give this guy an 8.5 out of 10. No, wait. I'll give him a solid 9. So yeah, I'll give this guy a 9 out of 10. So, yeah. If you see this guy at a collectible shop or on eBay or some Transformer site, I mean, he's totally worth getting if you like Transformers. He also makes a good shelf ornament. So, yeah. If you find this guy anywhere on the internet or a collectible shop, he's totally worth getting. So, until next time, guys, thank you for watching.